Hello friends, and welcome to my new video. Today actually I'll be talking about a film which I wasn't scheduled to talk about. Today my video was supposed to be on a different topic, but then last night I happened to see this film on Netflix, and I thought that it would be the right time for me to discuss this film instead. And the film that I want to talk about today is the new release on Netflix called Pagglait. Pagglait is directed by Umesh Pist and stars Sania Malhotra in the lead role. And it has a very talented ensemble cast of Raghuveer Yadav, Ashutosh Rana, Shruti Sharma, Sayani Gupta, and a lot of others supporting Sania Malhotra. And it's a fantastic film. I really didn't know too much about the film till I happened to chance upon the trailer of the film a week ago on Netflix, and the trailer looked very interesting, and I decided that I must see the film and then talk about it. And it's indeed a wonderful film. Just to give you a little background of the story, it's about how a death can actually lead to the rebirth of a person and the coming of life of a person, starting with death. That's what Pagglait is about. It's about this young 20-odd-year-old girl who's just lost a 27, 28-year-old husband barely 5 months into their marriage. And she lives in this joint family, and everyone around her is grieving for this untimely and unexpected sudden loss in the family. And she finds herself numb. She finds herself unable to grieve. And, there is grief all around her, and yet she herself is unable to even shed a drop of tear for her husband. And the film beautifully dwells into the character of the girl and how she reacts to this death, to this misfortune, and her journey in life thereafter. Sania Malhotra plays the role of Sandhya Giri, who's just lost her husband Astik. And the director, Umesh Pest, draws a beautiful picture of small town India and a joint family, and how each and every family member reacts to the death, the hypocrisies, the sad but true incidents that happen are so relatable and so identifiable. We've seen it happen all around us all the time. These hypocrisies and these stereotypes which one is expected to follow and bear. And we see it all around Sandhya in the movie, vis-a-vis her family members. Even her parents, when they come to offer support, we are exposed to some of the hypocrisies that society has in abundance. Sandhya is also joined by a friend of hers, Nazia, and the reaction of the family to Nazia is also quite telling. She's a Muslim, and so how the family reacts to her, despite, the sentence being repeated quite often in the movie, that we are broad-minded and we are liberal and we are large-hearted, and yet their treatment of Nazia is so very telling of India today. And amidst all this, the audience is very gradually drawn into the fact, into the dynamics of what relationship probably Sandhya and her late husband Astik shared. And gradually we come to know that theirs was an arranged marriage where Sandhya really had not much say in front of her parents. And we gradually come to know that neither did Astik, and they were two strangers who were thrown together into a marriage where both of them were grappling to understand each other and discover each other. And in the process of this inability to grieve and inability to shed a tear for her husband, Sandhya discovers some shocking revelations about her husband, and how she copes with those, and how she deals with them, how she tackles them, are beautifully explored by the director. And Sayani Gupta is in a special appearance as someone from Astik's past, her husband's past, Sandhya's husband's past. And when she comes into contact with Sandhya, the two women share a wonderful relationship, which is so beautifully explored in the movie. And the film spans a period of 13 days of mourning, and all the rituals and the ceremonies that are associated with the 13-day mourning period and its relevance. And while dealing with that, the true hypocrisies of our society are also very well revealed. And there are some absolutely amazing and heartwarming scenes which bring these moments out so poignantly and so beautifully. Ashutosh Rana plays the role of Astik's father, the boy's father, and he puts in a wonderful performance as a parent who's grieving the loss of his son. And Raghubir Yadav plays the role of his Taya, Astik's Taya, and he is a man who's tradition bound, custom bound, and is dogmatic and has some very firm points of view, some very firm beliefs which he will not get swayed by or swayed from. And yet, at the same time, his hypocrisies are also not so subtly revealed in the movie. And the story is about this 13-day period of mourning, and how this large joint family and its various characters, each of them deal with this tragedy. And in the center of it all is the young widow, Sandhya, and how she learns to grapple with the truth about her husband, and also how she deals with this loss in her life. That's what the movie is about. But the story takes an interesting turn towards the end, where it is revealed that a certain financial element is also brought into the script, and an element of financial gain for Sandhya, and how the reaction of the entire family changes towards her when that bit is revealed. All this leads to quite an interesting climax, and the movie ends on a beautiful note. And as I said earlier, the way I can summarize this movie is the journey of life, which is understood from the event of death. It's the death of Astik which actually charts the beginning of a new life for his widow, for his young widow, Sandhya, and how she decides to face life and how she decides to move on in life is what Pagglait is about. The title itself is quite telling because anyone, especially a woman in today's society, who is seen to be challenging stereotypes and breaking down traditions, is often considered to be a mad person, and hence the term Pagglait. But it's a wonderful movie. It's a very, very positive, uplifting, and a feel good movie with some lovely moments, some very sweet, very poignant, and very emotional moments. And throughout the film, despite her quite bold stance and her, very off the standard path reactions and responses, what also comes across is the love and warmth that she has towards her family members. And that is something which is, I think, to the full credit of the director and the writer. Because normally, when one sees a movie where the protagonist is a rebel and decides to stray off the standard treaded path, there is a lot of coldness about that character, and there is a lot of there's a lot of harshness about that character, which is not at all there in Sandhya's character. Sandhya is an extremely warm and lovable character, and yet she, despite her softness, despite her femininity, she is very strong. She has a mind of her own, and she decides to lead her life on her own terms. But she exudes this strength without being harsh and without being aggressive, which is what is wonderful about Pagglait. And the performances in this movie are what really elevate this movie. Whether it is Sania Malhotra in the lead role, or Sayani Gupta in that wonderful cameo that she has, Raghubir Yadav, Ashutosh Rana, or even Shruti Sharma as Sandhya's Muslim friend Nazia. They're all absolutely brilliant. And kudos to the director Umesh Pist for giving us such a wonderful, such a positive movie. It's a film that breaks down stereotypes without offending anyone. I think that's a big task, because the moment you have people challenging established norms and regular ways of thinking, it tends to be a bit rebellious in nature, and that often rubs some people the wrong way. I don't think Pagglait will rub anyone the wrong way. It's a beautifully made movie, and I think so far, although it's early in the year, it's the best movie to have come out in this new year of 2021, with a fantastic performance by Sania Malhotra and the others around her. Pagglait by Umesh Pist is a must watch. It's just started streaming on Netflix, so do watch it, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. Pagglait, directed by Umesh Pist, starring Sania Malhotra in the lead role. It's a wonderful film. Don't miss it. So that was it for this week. As I said, this is an unscheduled video. Something else was supposed to be telecast today, but I just had to talk about Pagglait. It's such a wonderful, such a beautifully made movie. I couldn't not talk about it. Do watch it and let me know in the comment section what you thought of the movie. For me, it's the best movie to have been released in 2021 so far. Do watch it. That's it for this week. Until the next time, bye for now.